I'll admit that I have a fair complexion. This makes it extremely noticeable to recognize my emotion, especially when I'm angry or embarrassed. I emphasize embarrassed because of the incident that happened in my summer of 2017. Since next school year I would be starting my junior year of high school, I wanted to make this summer count, especially after my friends said that it was going to be the hardest year. I was determined to make this a memorable summer, and let me tell you, I sure did. I plan to capture memories along the way, and going to the beach is one of my favorite summer activities. I revolved my summer around it. At the beginning of summer, I had ordered bathing suits, frantically waiting to show them off. Days passed by, and I still hadn't gone out. Until finally, my uncle called us up and said it was going to be a nice day to spend at the beach. The day came, and I was ready to show off my suits. We met up with my uncle's family at Balboa Beach. When we arrived, the sun rays hit our skin, and the warmth of the sand felt like a million little hugs on our toes. We set up against the seashore to keep a better eye on the children. My cousin and I decided now would be a good time to have a dip in the water. We slowly strolled onto the water. It was icy cold, and the grains of sand gathered at our feet, making it hard to take a step. We walked in deeper, and I can truly say that we were having a blast, enjoying the waves, diving into them as they approached us. We stayed in the water for a pretty long time. This worked up an appetite, and I was starting to get hungry. I decided that it was a good time to grab something to eat. The water and sand were now tugging at our feet, making it twice as hard to walk back. I looked down and saw a beautiful shell. As I reached down to grab it, the biggest, strongest wave smacked me against my back. Before I knew it, I was underwater. I immediately stood up, only to realize that the bottom parts of my suits were missing. Just as quickly as I stood up, I sat down. I froze and I didn't know what to do. I told my cousin with a loud tone to go grab me a towel. She still hadn't figured out what had happened, so she just kind of stood there, processing what I had told her. Then it clicked and she ran to shore. Now I was on my own, rolling around in the waves because I was not about to expose myself again, frantically looking for my bottoms while being tumbled and dragged, choking on water. It was the worst. As I started to think about the situation, I felt the blood rush to my face. So not only was I half naked, but I looked like a stop sign in the middle of the ocean. It seemed as if I had been there for hours. When finally my cousin came back and huddled over me while I wrapped the towel on myself. As we were getting closer to shore, I saw the white daisies in my bottoms. I picked them up and marched back to my family. Walking with shame, I sat down, while my family was laughing because they had seen the whole situation, and other people around us seemed to be hiding a burst of laughter as well. I wanted to bury myself right there and then. I wasn't looking or hearing anyone at this point. It was just as if the world and reality had faded away. Replaying the image in my head, just staring into the eternal depth of what I loved, the ocean, and how it had betrayed me. An hour or so had passed by, and I didn't know if I was still embarrassed or if I was sunburned. Soon, the day was coming to an end. We were getting ready to leave, so we started packing up our items. I think the same wave decided it would be fun to mess with us one last time, because the high tide came in and it submerged our towels, food, clothes, and some electronics. Coincidentally, everyone around us was intact. Now, I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry over these unfortunate events. Everyone came to an agreement that the day was over, with exposing half of myself to the beach, and our stuff drenched in the salty water. We all headed back home. As I reflected on this day with my as I reflected on this day with my head against the car window, I came to the realization that karma exists. Although I didn't know why I had been cursed that day. But on the other hand, whenever I am told to tell an embarrassing story, this always comes to mind. Even though I didn't get the summer I wanted, I did get a memorable day. which slowly helped me realize that in life you don't always get what you want. At the moment, this was absolutely the worst day of my life, but with time, accept I came to accept things for what they are. Not saying that if this situation was to happen to me once again, I would react any better than how I did the first time.